Hello. Yes, my still image Confused Matthew picture is back. I figured that since I'm reviewing reviews by Confused Matthew, Redlettermedia, with a script written by Reviewer 1, I might as well try to make a hybrid of all three of them. I already have a monotone voice like Redlettermedia, so why not? So Reviewer 1 sent me a few more points about Phantom Menace. It's much shorter this time, which means this should be the last one. But with how much this guy can pick out, I may keep talking about this movie's first 70 more parts. Anyway, let's get started. To delve more into the film's themes, a crucial theme is about the trusting of your own heart, which is what will be continued in the next two films. Qui-Gon lives in the moment and trusts his heart, and you can see the potential in Anakin, and is willing to manipulate people when necessary, thereby ensuring people's lives and freedom. And thanks to him, Anakin could destroy the Sith. He does what is necessary, and he even guides Anakin when they forbid him, and goes against the Council due to not being able to go to the Council, and he makes sacrifices for himself, and even steals, because he knows he has to do what is right, which is saving people about following rules. And Obi-Wan simply follows the other Jedi, and as a result, isn't going to be a good mentor for Anakin, which would cause him to become Vader. You often have to act in the moment, and make your own decisions, and the safety of innocent people is more important than the judgment of others, or your own success. That is being a true hero. And Obi-Wan, who does love Qui-Gon and also trusts his mentors when Qui-Gon dies, learns this is a bit realizing. He wants to keep his promise to Qui-Gon, and in 2 and 3 will learn to trust his own heart. Another deep theme in this film is about cultural prejudices. The Naboo took a superior stance against the Gungans, and many people are judgmental of them, and are rather cold to those who they say are less intelligent, and even Obi-Wan is cold to Jar Jar as he sees him as dumb. Yet Qui-Gon protects him, and Padme is warm to him, and he turns out to be, although clumsy, be warm and help create an alliance with the Gungans, showing you he could be kind to anyone who could befriend. And the fact, once Padme is humble to the Gungans, and is honest about needing them to they fight back, and they even sacrifice themselves, and Jar Jar by helping become a general. Also, people complain the music in this wouldn't be as memorable, which is completely wrong, as the theme of Anakin and Tatooine manages to be warm and relaxed, while also having some subtle somberness and indicating really intense pure emotion by being very loud. The music, for with the trade guys, is very mysterious and feels like a build towards something worse, which fits Palpatine's. And the music in the battles on Naboo is stressful and rhythmic, and very fluent, and builds well, and the music around the personal scenes of Padme and Qui-Gon have a sense of loveness, also some higher pitched parts adding to the feeling of intensity, and Duel of the Fates is intense and dramatic and epic, as well as operatic fitting, and dramatics of the Sith working their way to taking over. The sound adds to the film also. It is epic and sharp while sounding very clean and fluent, adding to the sense of beauty of this withering paradise. The costumes are elaborate and stylish, adding to the more expensive feeling, except for Anakin's clothes, which are more broken down, which adds to the sense of him having a rougher life. Also, people complained about the sets being very clean and pretty, unlike in the original trilogy, but this is a time of peace and prosperity which is going to be destroyed and set into the original trilogy. And in 3, many of the sets, like the platform on Atapu and the Jedi Temple after the Clone Wars, they took rough, dirty, and broken down. Also, the sets are different from most science fiction movies in that they use ancient styles and warm materials like stone instead of metal, while also having a sophisticated technology, indicating a hybrid of warm culture with futurism and real sense of prosperity, which contrasts with the alien films like bleakness of the trade feds, their ships. The last deep theme I want to discuss is the theme of being a good parent. We see Anakin's mother sees he deserves a better life and comforts him, and when he wants to take part in the race, she does have her doubts, and cares for his safety, yet she acknowledges he can truly help them, and when he has been freed, she allows him to make the choice to pursue his dreams, and convinces him to overcome his fears. And Qui-Gon, although on a few occasions being cold to him, takes great risk for him, and trusts him as he is a good person against what others think, where Obi-Wan and the Jedi dismiss him because he goes against their orthodox prejudices. And we see this hurts him, and almost prevented him from becoming a hero. And so we see a good mentor protects their student, while also encouraging them, but doesn't fear who they are and trusts the good in them, as this allows them to fulfill their potential and makes them feel more loved, and help us, and that they might have to take risks, but that if we trust them, they will succeed when necessary. This is very interesting as it ties into the theme in A New Hope of Obi-Wan being a better mentor than Owen. And here we see Obi-Wan still has to learn that as he doesn't trust his own heart, to allow him to trust others. And the theme of trusting your kid/student would be another inspiration for the brilliant Finding Nemo. Also, people often complain about the dialogue in this film and the other two prequels, and they say Lucas is a bad screenwriter, which is weird, as 1, he solely screenwrote Episode 4, 2, he co-screenwrote Episode 6 and American Graffiti, and 3, he was uncredited co-screenwriter for The Empire Strikes Back. They say the dialogue is cheesy, but most people never really comment on what would make the dialogue bad. They just say it is. They say it is corny. What, you mean it's sweet sentimental? Well, yeah, that is true, but that is natural, as the characters are very sentimental and idealistic people. What matters is if dialogue is deep and natural, and it certainly is in this film. Let's analyze some lines from conversations. I have a bad feeling about this, Master. I don't sense anything. It's not about the mission, Master, but something elsewhere. Elusive. Don't center on your anxieties. Obi-Wan, keep your thoughts in here, and now where you belong. But Master Yoda and I should be mindful of the future, but not at the expense of the moment. Be mindful of the living force. Yes, Master. Plinkett calls the dialogue awkward. Well, I don't see how this is awkward. Obi-Wan is more pessimistic and is doubtful of the mission, and he can't immediately tell what he is worried about, showing he is naive. And Qui-Gon tells him to keep his thoughts in the here and now, as that is what he finds important, and it is deep because it reveals a crucial part of his thinking. And Obi-Wan bringing up Master Yoda showed he cared greatly for what the higher-ranking Jedi thought, and Qui-Gon simply rebutting it showed how free-minded Qui-Gon is. And I don't see how it is boring. It shows the characters' different views, and it isn't passionless. It clearly stretches the importance of these views on both characters by the constantly questioning each other. And it set up the theme that you need to live in here and now. Or, to look at another conversation, it's controlled by the Hutts. You can't take a royal highness there. The Hutts are gangsters. If they discover her, it'd be no different from if we landed on the system controlled by the Federation, except the Hutts aren't looking for her, which gives us the advantage. This showed again how Qui-Gon totally thinks for himself, while not being purely stubborn. He just always thinks things through on his own. He also isn't reckless, as he is taking the risk while making sure it is not too dangerous, and it conveys how brave he is in the decisions he makes, not just fighting. You never won a race. Well, not exactly. Never even finished? Finished is right. I will this time. Of course you will. Really showed how fatherly Qui-Gon was to Anakin. He showed confidence in him, knowing he is a great person, and even when he has failed in the past, putting his trust in him, as he is a really warm person, as well as wise for his age and trusting in a passion. Like Obi-Wan, trust Luke in Episode 4, where he has learned to be a wise master by trusting his apprentice to follow his heart, and by knowing that by being supportive, you allow them to unleash their potential. It really showed that if you trust your apprentice, they can unleash their potential, as Anakin, by being brave and selfless, is helping them take part in the race, and when Qui-Gon shows him he could trust his instincts and is willing to take chances for him to succeed. The conversation, you Jedi are far too reckless. The Queen is not. The Queen trusts by judgment, young handmaiden. You should too. You assume too much. Was a really great exchange, as it showed Qui-Gon wasn't a perfect person, acting patronizing out of anger to Padme when he thinks she isn't taking significant risks. And Padme almost reveals she is the Queen and acts passive-aggressive even when they have no other option, showing she is also a bit childish. And more of this in her bossiness we would see in Episode 2. Also, are you alright? I am very cold. You come from a warm planet, Annie. A little too cold for my taste. Space is cold. You seem sad. The Queen is worried. Her people are dying. She must convince the Senate to intervene, or I am not sure what will happen. This conversation was fantastic, as Anakin saying he is cold is an awesome reference to Luke being cold in Empire. And here is a great metaphor. He has gone from his warm home, and this scares him, and it shows how Anakin and Padme can relate to both caring about others and that Padme doubts herself and is very concerned about her people. Also, the great next part was, I made this for you, so you would remember me. I carved it out of the Prohibitionist. It will bring you good fortune. It is beautiful. But I don't need this to remember you by. Many things will change when we reach the capital, but my caring for you will remain. I care for you too. Only you miss you, Mother. It really showed Anakin tries to purposely make others remember him, and that his missing people overshadows his loving of others. Also, Your Highness, under the circumstances, I suggest you come to Coruscant with us. Thank you, Ambassador, but my place is with my people. They will kill you if you stay. They wouldn't. They need her to sign the treaty, making this invasion of theirs legal. They cannot afford to kill. There is something else behind all this, Your Highness. There is no logic in their actions. My feelings tell me they will kill you if they stay. Either choose presence great danger. To us all, we are brave, Your Highness. That was also a really deep, natural conversation, as it showed Padme's naive sense of responsibility, wanting to stay with her people. And Qui-Gon actually wanted to make sure she is safe, as he thinks in the here and now, seeing they aren't acting logical for just a blockade. And it showed Padme as so worried the Queen first needed to check it would be from her personnel, but that she is so loyal to her people she will take the risk, and she was being obvious to how the trade feds were going to use violence to overwhelm her, and that she needed to take more action. The boy will not pass the test, Master. He is too old. Anakin will become a Jedi, I promise you. Do not defy the Council, Master, not again. I will do what I must, Obi-Wan. If you would just follow the code, you would be on the Council. They will not go along with you this time. You still have a lot to learn, my apprentice. This conversation said a lot about Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, and that it showed Qui-Gon is so stubborn that he really believes that he was doing the right. He does because he cares about other people, and he takes all of these risks as he doesn't care for his own safety and truly believes in making sacrifices for what is right. He really follows the living force he believes in, and shows he really wants others like Obi-Wan to help do the right thing. He isn't distant, he is just very self-confident and dedicated, and it really conveyed why you need this to be stubborn, because you have to do the right thing. I built a new droid, you want to see? Come on, I will show you 3PO. Isn't he great? He's not finished yet. He is wonderful. You really like him? Really showed how Anakin really wished for the attention and praise of others while being very honest. And this is very natural. Some kids are really attention obsessed and as a result more vulnerable. Also Anakin saying, I am on my way to the Jedi Temple to start my training. I hope I may never see her again, so I came to say goodbye. Really reflected he was constantly obsessed with saying goodbye, while it is unclear whether he would see Padme again. First, before we finish, I would like to apologize for my terrible acting. So why was the dialogue awkward when it fit the characters and logically fitted their views, passionless when it conveyed the characters' worries, and really strong caring about others, and had things like Padme not even knowing what and if she didn't succeed, and how was it boring? It set up the characters in deep themes, and it wasn't bland, it was multi-layered and deep. And we will also see this in the next 2 prequels. And that's it for now. If you have any hate mail, please send it to reviewreviewer1@yahoo.com, and I will see you next time. Bye.